directors turn on their mics? Thank you. Could we have roll call, please?
President Ben Stewart.
Present.
Vice President Russell Wilford.
Present.
Director Olaf Lanskart.
Here.
Director Brian Glennon.
Here.
Director Ed McKay.
Present. Would you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Led by Mr. Glenn.
Before I leave this, I counted the cookies over there. And I've decided that everybody over 70 gets to be in the front of the line. Okay? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right, with no objections, we'll accept the agenda as it is currently written. All right, at this time, we're going to ask if there's anyone in the public that would like to make any comments on non-agenda items. Okay, so at this time, we'll move on to new business.
I think everyone wants to
Mr.
comments and goodbyes.
Mr. Lanskart, any final comments you'd like to make?
Well, thank you, Mr. President Singledecker. As far as final comments, I did write a 4-page list of things that to be thankful for as far as what we've done in the last 4 years, and I think it'll be cast to the next minutes for the next new board to approve. So I won't be too lengthy with that. I would like to thank everybody here, especially the staff and my fellow board members on working so diligently to move the district forward, which they've done a very good job of in the last 4 years, and to see that continue into the future. And of course, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Mr. McKay.
I'd just like to thank the people for electing us to the board for the last 4 years, and I hope that we have done what we had said we were going to do, and we've left the district in good shape. And again, I would also like to thank the staff and the general manager for all that they have done for us. Thank you.
All right. I will also thank everyone for it, the staff for all they've done. It's been a great learning experience for me. I've enjoyed it. At this time, we're going to move on to the swearing in of the new board directors, and we'll turn that over to Elizabeth. I'll turn the gavel over to Mr. Wilford.
Okay, I will ask the 3 new board members to please come to the front. Okay, I will be administering the oath. After I state I, please state your name and then please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will be fair, bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Mr. Wilford, you can call yourself. You got the gavel, call receipt.
Recess.
Call back to order.
Calling it back to order. We need to do election of officers. Representative Ron Smith.
Thank you. This is the time that's prescribed by the government code for you to now elect a president and a vice president. And unlike the last item on the agenda, you do want to take public comment if there's anybody that wants to comment before you take action.
But we can take nominations at this time.
You're supposed to, by government code. You're supposed to take nominations for president first, elect a president, and then elect a vice president.
Well, as vice president, still, I'm going to start off first. I really wanted Mr. Glennon to take it, but he's smarter than that. And he won't do it. So he said where I needed to push Mr. Wood for president. So I'd like to nominate Mr. Wood for president.
Second.
Any other nominations?
Ask if there's any comments from the public.
Comments from the public?
If not, then call for a vote.
All right. Let's call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
5-0. So you can hand the gavel over to Mr. Wood.
Oh, man. Here you go.
Okay, at this time, we'll open up nominations for vice president.
I nominate Russ.
I'll second that. Any other nominations for vice president? Public comments? Let's call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. And what is the next officer that we have, that you guys have? 'Cause it's not-
There's no other officers.
Okay. All right, at this time, then we'll go on to new business number 3, assignment of 2019 conferences and meetings with board of directors. Presenter Ron Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. You have a list in front of you of the 2019 conferences. There was a number of reasons why we go through this. One is that the board has to approve the conferences or the meetings and things that you go to in order to be covered by insurance while you're on that trip. And then also historically for the past few years, the board has tried to keep down some costs on the conferences, and their discussion was you don't need 5 people going to the same conference all at the same time necessarily, that you can send 2 and they can report if there's any good information. This does not set it in stone. If there's another conference that comes up or somebody else wants to go to one and says, hey, there's something really good that I really want to go to this one, all we do is just put it on the agenda and vote for it again. But this is the time we sort of like set the calendar so everybody knows you guys have the discussion and we sort of see where we're going with all that.
Hey, Ron, I don't have a list up here in front of me for the conferences.
I'm gonna do the back of your name to go.
Hey, I'm guessing I'm going first.
Okay.
It was in the agenda packets.
There's a lot of good conferences here, but this is the first time I've seen the list for conferences. I don't know if any other new directors have seen this list before tonight. I would like to entertain a motion to table this until next Tuesday's meeting to give the board members a chance to look it over, to just determine which ones interest them and which ones they want to go to. And you were saying that it was informal from the other board about only 2 directors attending, but
That was their direction. The board can do whatever they want. It's their conferences. It's budgeted a certain way. I mean, if you have more people go, then we work out something in the budget, because it's just a cost. The other board decided that they want to try to keep down the costs, and that's why they made that decision. That was their public comment. But if all 5 want to go to every conference, that's your discretion. The main reason why you vote on it is also so that you have to decide and make a decision for somebody to go to a conference in order to be covered by the insurance.
Okay.
So that's why we do it, for the most part.
All right, I'm in the same mindset as well as far as, saving money, where we can save money. But I also realize conferences are important, especially for new board members who have never been to any of them before.
Absolutely.
And it's great to have one or two directors go, but I think that, from my perspective, that it's not going to always be that all 5 directors are going to go to a particular conference, but I think it should be available that if there's a conference here that they feel that they need, especially to get into like special districts, leadership academy, legislative conference, those are very important, especially for new directors to understand how special districts work.
Yes.
And things like that. And so I have a motion on the table to table this until
I'll
next
second
Tuesday's
that.
meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay. And all in favor of tabling? Aye. Opposed? Okay, conferences will be tabled till next Tuesday's meeting.
Sounds good. And Mr. Wood, that was the feeling of the other board too about sending the new member. I think they forced Russ to go to quite a few conferences so he could get up to speed. So that's always a good idea for the new board members.
So,
Can I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
On some of these here, I see the title, maybe we could get a little summary of what they are, because again, the Jim brought up a good point. We don't all need to go to some of them, but some of, a title only, a best practice for board of directors regarding what, maybe we got a little summary of some of them that could, by next meeting, before next meeting, that could kind of help us kind of decipher which ones that we could or could not attend.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we'll do a quick outline summary of each of those.
And that would help a little bit on that there too.
And if you can see on the bottom of the list also is not just conferences, but also there's other meetings that the board has been involved with, going to ABAC. We have our JPA water bank, and there's adjudication. And so there's some other meetings like that also that, that different people.
The thing I would ask also, and this is because of the work schedule that I keep, Mr. President, Mr. Jam,
Sure.
The miscellaneous meetings, we could put dates on them. Because some people are retired, I'm not. And some people have to go to work, so, me. So maybe we could, like if they're Mondays, Tuesdays, because when I put my days off in, I'm doing a 28-day out window.
Right.
And maybe that would help me, to help the board, to help all of us, if I tell you what dates they were. I appreciate that.
Right, we'll look at them. Some of them are on the fly, like ABAC has different special meetings that come up. The Water Master,
Yes.
They have somewhat that is
As best we can.
As best we can,
Yeah, as best
we'll
we
get
can,
it down
because
there
I
for you.
know, like the Kern County dinner, that's once a year shot. But if we could kind of lock down the dates as best we can, I appreciate
No,
that.
absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
That makes sense.
don't retire.
Was that?
Don't retire.
Then my wife left. I don't have any choice but to keep working. Sorry for another day, people.
No days off if you retire.
I know. Anyways, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Jewell.
Okay, at this time, Board Secretary, was that?
We already did that. That was we moved that up. Mr. Shingledecker moved that up. It's usually at the front of the meeting. That's for non-agendized items, so the board already took that action. Already did that.
Okay.
So it was moved up. So now it's just adjournment.
Okay, well, before we adjourn, there is one thing that I would like to see. I don't believe it's an agenda item. It's a topic, and that is, I would like to ask if there are any board comments, reports, or future agenda items that the board would like to see for next week's meeting. And I'll start with Director Webb.
Yes. You gonna do that?
Yes, I'll get to that.
Okay. No, I think the one thing you'll bring up, Mr. President, will be fine. And as of now, I'm just glad to be here, and we'll get back to me somewhere down the line.
Vice President Wilbur?
I don't have a problem with the 2 directors, but we need to have him on just about every.
We will do that. Yeah, I'll
And it
cover
helped
this in
me.
my comments.
It helped me.
Director Stewart?
As far as the agenda, I have no comments. I just would like to say thank you for the board. I think that I have a lot to learn, and I think that I'm going to be, this first year is going to be a definite learning experience. So.
He still has that deer in the headlight look, doesn't he?
He will for a while.
Yeah.
Director Leonard.
Nothing really. I think the committee meetings or committee that meetings that you're proposing are an excellent idea to get the board more informed on everything that involves the district.
My comments that I would like to make here is I actually wrote this paper up and I'll read it. And it says, to the incoming board president, proposed committees for the RCSD board. And as per board policy 4060, I would like to request of the new board president to establish the following standing committees and ad hoc committees. Now that I'm board president, I can get a little less formal here on this. And in our policy, administrative policy, we have standing committees: a policy committee, personnel committee, finance committee, government relations committee, engineering committee, and parks and recreation committee. And I'm asking for 2 board members and 1 staff member to be on those committees. Ad hoc committees, again, this will be 2 board members, 1 staff member, and members of the public. And the ad hoc committees that I want to put forward out here is the Water and Sewer Committee, Water Acquisition Committee, Water Reclamation Committee, Water Banking Committee, and Grants Committee. And also, I have been talking to other boards and incoming members of those boards and outgoing members of those boards. And it's been attendance of board members at other agency meetings, and I'd like to have 2 members. That way we could always have somebody there to make sure that they're covered. Because it can't be at every meeting, but if you have 2, then you're going to always have somebody there. And that is to have our board members attend AVEC meetings, Southern Kern Unified School District, Water Master meetings, RMAC meetings, and Rosamond Chamber of Commerce. That way our board members can report to these agencies what we're doing, what we're going through, plans that we have, and that we can also report back to this board on what they're doing and get a good line of communication going towards these other agencies with our agency. And it's a good learning experience for the board members to be plugged in and be involved. And I passed this list out to all of you this evening, and I'll give one to you, Ron and Lizette. And so by next Tuesday, look these committees over.
Mr. President,
Yes.
excuse me real quick. Before you tell us to look them over, I'd ask that you consider, or would you tell me whether it would fit in with all that's going on around. I would ask if we have something with disaster preparedness overall. I don't see it fitting in, and that could be an ad hoc committee, but I think all of these are important, but disaster readiness or whatever, on a small, medium type scale, district-wise, I think we gotta look at that for real. So that could be an ad hoc, but I think we definitely need, before you get this submitted to them, can we consider that one, please?
Okay, then consider it done. And, but right now, for insurance purposes, are there any board members that want to attend AVEC meetings?
I do.
Okay, and Byron, do you want to attend AVEC meetings?
Yeah.
Okay, then you 2 guys are it.
Those are the ones that take board action, so they're covered with insurance, and you tabled that for next week, that action. They wouldn't be covered for insurance, it wouldn't be an official meeting for them. It's not a committees that the president's appointing, it's actually the meetings that you voted on, so they cover, so when they're driving to and from. And then they're listed on the bottom of the list there.
They're on the bottom of that sheet there,
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Yeah,
Okay.
AVAC.
So can I ask you a question, sir, real quick? Do we have to vote on this entire list as a whole, or can we just?
No,
We can do the miscellaneous.
you can vote on them at piecemeal,
That's
however you
well,
want, and you can do it on the fly. You could say, hey,
we can break those out from the top.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I think what they did the past couple times is they wrote everybody's name down and sort of made a list and then took one vote and said, we're going to vote on that one list.
Mr. President,
But you can do it anytime.
could I make a motion that with the event conference list submitted to the board members here, that we separate out the miscellaneous meetings and address those tonight if possible, since we're trying to do assignments, and then we keep the other conferences and the others, we'll vote on those next week.
Okay.
That way, if there's any meetings coming up between now and next Tuesday, we're clear to cover.
Okay.
Work that way?
I think, yeah, you're going to have a motion to untable and separate that.
Okay, I make a motion on the table by the president on the conferences here.
Okay.
That'll take a second and a vote.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of untabling item new business 3?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we can go in and move to separate new business 3 and miscellaneous.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that with the director's list of events conferences submitted to us by staff here, that the ones listed under miscellaneous that we have a copy of, if we could separate those out and vote on those tonight.
Okay, and I also would like you to amend your motion to include Southern Kern Unified School District, RMAC, and the Rosamond Chamber.
I'd like to amend it to include the RMAC meeting, the Southern Kern Unified meeting, and the Rosamond Chamber of Commerce to be added to the miscellaneous meetings to be attended by directors.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion was made by Director Webb, seconded by Director Glennon. All in favor of approving the miscellaneous items on item 3, new business 3? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now, at this time, we have 2 board members that want to attend the AVAC meetings, and that would be...
Well, I've been attending the JPA Water Bank, and I thought Mr. Glennon was actually a member of the office.
I'm a voting person on that JPA from the district.
So we got Byron and...
I was the alternate.
all right, and you were going to go to the water bank as well, Rick, or because we have 2 members for that right now.
Well, if I can't go to that, then that puts me out, because the others, there are no dates on them, so I'll stand put on nothing for a minute until we find out some dates.
All right, I know that we have an AVAC meeting coming up before next week's meeting, so this way we can be represented there, correct? And we can get the dates and everything, then we can put the rest of this to bed at next Tuesday's meeting.
We'll have it to you probably Thursday afternoon.
Okay. All right, and with that, any other comments? All right, well then we'll go on to adjournment. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:38. Hello, my name is Rick Wood, and I was just recently elected to the Rosamond Community Service District Board of Directors.
Okay, what made you run for the RCSD?
I felt that with my experience and background in water and sewage, that I could be of help in obtaining, helping to guide this district through the next 4 years of finding reliable sources of water, planning for the future of the community, water reclamation, getting our sewage treatment plant up and running, and doing what I can to help make the community a better place.
And what would you like to accomplish in the next 4 years?
I would like to get the sewage treatment plant, up and going. People paid for it. I would like to see us use it what it was paid for. I want to get our water bank going again, make it viable, get water put in there for the future of the community, and look for other sources of water, which we're going to desperately need as we ramp down because of the groundwater adjudication agreement. We need to get out and find alternative sources of water wherever we can in the state of California to make sure that this community has a reliable source of water, not only today but in the future.
Okay. And would you like to tell your fellow Rosamond residents anything?
I would just like to say thank you for your votes. Thank you for expressing confidence in me to be your representative here, and I will not let you down. I will work hard for you and give 120% of myself for you and to make this community in a better place than when I got here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Benjamin Stewart.
Okay. And Benjamin, what made you run for the RCSD?
I think a sense of service that has been instilled in me since a youth through my mother and through the scouting program. If I have the ability to help out, I should be the one helping out. So.
Okay. And what would you like to accomplish in your 4-year term?
I'd like to make Rosamond the best it can be. There's no agendas, anything like that. I've just, like I said, I have a big sense of pride in Rosamond because I've been here my whole life. So I think just sitting here, a good sense of what the industry involves, because I do that currently for my position where I work at. So pretty much that.
And would you like to tell the Rosamond residents anything?
First, I would like to say thank you to my wife and my mom for their support in running and for the votes. I was pleasantly surprised I got that many, and thanks for believing I can represent you guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, Rick Webb, Rosamond resident.
Rick, what made you run for RCSD?
Well, being a past board member, you always leave things unfinished that you'd like to finish with. And there's some challenges that have come up in the district that I believe that I could help with, improve the quality of the district and the quality of the community.
And Rick, what would you like to accomplish in your 4-year term?
I think one of the big things we're going to have to look at is, the water adjudication has been finalized, and that ramp down on the water, we're going to have to take a serious look at that, and getting our wastewater treatment plant back up so we can start getting some water out of that to maybe do the purple pipe, so we can start finding better ways for the water out there, and also find ways to get more water purchased so we can have a stable long-term water supply for the community.
Okay. And would you like to tell the community of Rosamond anything?
Folks, thank you very much. Not only did I win the election, but I was a high vote getter. It means a lot of people came out for me. I sincerely thank you folks for that, and there are good things coming.
Thank you.